Pointed points and for your brief. Canadian Home Builders Association, Kevin Lee, CEO, and Bob Finnigan, President. Bob?
Good afternoon. Thank you. I am the president of the association and a builder-developer from Toronto, and I'll lead off and then pass the mic over to Kevin. Our industry has been a major source of stability for Canada's economy over the last decade, and this needs to continue. Residential construction supported over 1 million jobs, paid $58 billion in wages, and generated over $128 billion in economic activity in 2015, including over $41 billion in government revenues. Home building and renovation is a vital part of every community, large and small, coast to coast. So effective housing policy is key to supporting Canadians, business, and communities in achieving inclusive economic growth. To do this, we need to address a number of challenges. We must improve housing affordability for those in the middle class and those who aspire to join it. We must reduce greenhouse gas emissions through energy retrofits while curbing the underground economy. We must encourage and support those pursuing skilled jobs in our industry and the R&D that will bring innovation and increase productivity. And we must ensure that federal infrastructure and transit investment support housing affordability and the development of complete and inclusive communities. Today, I want to focus on the most pressing issue facing our industry and facing Canadians and facing the government, and that's housing affordability. I see the real impact of this every day in my business as young families realize that the modest home which they dream of owning is simply beyond their financial reach. Hardworking Canadians, especially our young people, must have the same opportunity to fulfill their dream of home ownership as previous generations. While our homes provide shelter and connect us with our communities, they also account for more than $4 trillion of Canadian equity, $3 trillion of that owned outright.
For a sec. We are going a little too fast on the wording. I know I said we got to rush.
Sorry, okay.
But the
I can slow it down.
have to translate this as well. So.
Okay. I'll start where I finished?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, CHBA is pleased that the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Families, Children and Social Development are looking closely at housing markets to determine the true causes of house price escalation in our largest cities. Understanding the complexities involved is essential for smart and effective policy that avoids destabilizing markets. It is critical to recognize that in the face of growing demand for housing, many current government policies limit supply and drive up prices in other ways. It is encouraging that the federal ministers are seeking the collaboration and involvement of municipal and provincial governments, and such three-way collaboration is the only route to real solutions in the country. Kevin will now outline specific actions.
Thanks, Bob. So in terms of those specific actions, the federal government can take immediate steps to improve affordability and contribute to the prosperity of middle-class Canadians. First, Canadians must get the maximum benefit from infrastructure and transit investment. And to this end, the federal government should encourage its government partners to mandate appropriate densities along transit corridors and nodes. And the federal government needs to offer land write-downs for family-oriented housing and mixed-income, mixed-use, complete communities. Second, to assist first-time homebuyers, federal housing policy should support both stability and for housing markets and access to home ownership. Macro-prudential rules that guard against financial system risks must not lock out well-qualified first-time homebuyers. Specific measures include support via the Homebuyers Plan, the continued availability of 5% down payment mortgages, and provision of 30-year amortization periods for well-qualified first-time homebuyers for homes priced under $500,000. Shared appreciation mortgages are another tool that should be explored to increase access to home ownership. Supporting first-time homebuyers is the key to healthy housing markets and a growing inclusive economy. Third, market rental housing is an important part of the housing spectrum, and modest revisions to how GST is applied would remove barriers to new market rental production. GST on new purpose-built rental developments is based on final value as if they were for sale condominiums, but should be based on actual project costs plus profit. Also, the current arbitrary application of GST on secondary suites discriminates between attached and detached units and favors renters who have a family tied to the owner. This doesn't make sense. Secondary suites are an innovative form of affordable infill rental housing favored by many municipalities, and they shouldn't be stymied by a federal tax policy glitch. My final comment concerns the need for a renewed home energy retrofit program to benefit the environment, improve existing homes, and help Canadians save money. In terms of climate change, change. Housing is a Canadian success story. We have 38% more houses in Canada today than we did in 1990, and even with this, total residential emissions are down 11%. This has not come through codes, but from ongoing innovation and voluntary improvement supported by industry and government R&D collaboration. Moving forward, we will continue to build homes that are even more efficient, but more stringent codes that reduce affordability are not the answer because new housing is not the problem. The largest GHG opportunity lies in retrofitting existing homes, and a dollar invested in an existing home will yield 4 to 7 times more GHG reductions than the same level of investment in a new home. A permanent, refundable energy retrofit tax credit using the EnerGuide rating system will most effectively address the government's climate change goals related to housing. And by requiring homeowners to get receipts to qualify, our research suggests reduced underground economy activity can make such a program cost neutral to government. So I'll leave it there, and Bob and I will be happy to answer questions about these or other recommendations from our more detailed pre-budget submission.
Thank you very much.